Welcome to Season 2, Episode 3 of The Odyssey, an Invictus podcast. So, what are we talking about today?
Today we are bringing a specific topic. I think it's interesting for our listeners. It's about faith and faith in business. Not faith necessarily about religion, but faith in business.
Okay.
How the two
I was
combine.
going to say it's always a bad idea talking about faith, but okay, that kind of faith. Okay.
Faith in the religion.
Yeah, on the religion side, it's always complicated to talk about. Yeah. Very well. So you want to talk about faith in business. Very well. Very well. Faith in business. That's a new one.
Doesn't connect with you?
Well, I don't have that much faith in business, to be honest. I'm a very cold cut guy on. How can I explain? I prefer not to rely on faith and do my work.
It's going to be an interesting episode today because we have two very different perspectives.
I know we do. You're more a believer than me.
I have to.
I'm the guy with the charts and and the calculator and
The science.
yeah, I'm the guy with the science. Well, but faith is needed. Yeah, the other kind of faith. Yeah, very well. What does it mean to you as a CEO to have faith in business?
I have faith in business. That's a good question, and it's funny because today we have to. Let me start just by introducing the new producer of the podcast today, João. Thank you for helping us out. And today we have this. You guys at home will not be able to see it, but we have this amazing setup. We have usually we have a camera and a pair of boxes, and today we have 4 cameras and 3 cameras and all this kind of.
Yeah,
seems like we're on a TV show, like Jerry's doing the show.
Yeah.
And it's quite fun. It's going to be nice.
Hey, okay, we can always start cheering, Jerry.
So, and you were saying about faith in business. To me, faith has been not only about religion. In business, if you put yourself to do something, you have to believe in it, and it's very difficult, especially when you start a business or you're doing something business towards. When you have to achieve something. It's very unlikely that you're going to have someone to believe in you. And if you have a little faith and you hold on to that little faith, then it gives you quite a good mileage to keep on going. So to me, it's a very important factor for a company to have, to go where others don't go and to believe when others don't.
So you hold on to your faith that things will turn out good in the end.
You have to absolutely do everything you can in your power, like logical power, to make sure things go well. But at the same time, you need to believe they will go well. For instance, this building we're on, it's a great example of faith. Before we moved into this building, I was looking for buildings, and I would drive around and I would have a vision in my mind whenever I went to sleep. I would have a vision that it would be nice to have an Invictus building, to have a pretty building for people to come in.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, the building is here and it pretty much puts a face in.
Yeah, I still remember how the building was when we first came here and how it is now. Well, only the structure is the same. The rest, it's pretty much.
And it's all product of faith. You need to envision, and because to me, luck and faith and work is 3 things all connected. If you want to do something, if you want to you want to get somewhere, you need to have a connection of the 3. You need to have faith. And you need to work out really hard, and then you need to have a little bit of luck. But luck, it's a commitment or consequence of both things.
Yeah, you cannot have faith in luck here.
No, it's well, you can, but it's a very small percentage.
Yeah, it's mostly work, isn't it?
Yeah, mostly work. Yeah. Do you feel that in your commercial, in your VP sales function? Do you consider that it's more important for you to have the values, moral values, or How do you guide? What's your compass?
That's a tough question. That's a tough question. You cannot compromise your moral values, or else you end up. How can I say? Not. If you compromise your moral values, sooner or later it will come around and bite you. Okay. It will come in another form, probably. It will come. Yeah. Exactly. Something will happen to remind you that you did something that wasn't according to what you think you should have done. If I compromise my moral values for money, not yet.
Not yet.
It can always happen. It can always happen. It's a daily struggle. Yeah. You never know. I've managed to reach 46 without compromising them, so I must be doing something right, I guess.
I think you have the right values, and sometimes you portray like you don't have them, or you portray them. It's funny how you act, because you portray that like your values are really rooted deep. But in the end, in reality, they are not. You know, and that's why you think.
Usually, it's a very high standard. That,
but you pretend like you don't have any standards, and it's quite fun that you actually see.
But it's mostly for fun.
Yeah, that's why I think we connect so much. Is because we share a lot of the same values, and I think that's important, especially when you lead a team, and now you lead a team of sales. I think it's really super important to have that moral compass. You know, to have them know that closing a deal is not more important than to sell your soul to the devil.
You don't imagine how many times per week I have to say,
George,
it's not
sleep, be
worth
careful.
the money. It's not worth the money. If you're doing shoddy work, it's not worth the money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why risk the company's reputation? Why risk your own reputation? Why risk an agent's reputation?
For what? Yeah.
For what?
I think that's absolutely it.
You see, and it's not worth the money, and it's something I keep insisting.
Do you think that applies to everything, everyone around us?
To everyone who
the companies, competitors, or business in general? Do you think everyone shares that moral compass?
I believe that most people want to share the moral compass.
Do they really?
Want to. Between wanting and doing, there's
two different things.
Those are two different things, and I usually don't speak things I don't intend to. That's why I said they probably want to, and I didn't follow up with anything else. Because in the end, everyone wants to do. I hope everyone wants to do the best they can, even though reality often depicts that it's not that what really happens. But my belief is we have to think about ourselves and commit to ourselves. The competition, the other companies, they don't matter to us. No, they might make more money.
You know why I'm laughing, right?
Yeah, probably. The thing is, for a bit more of money at the end of the year, is it really worth to
playing sick games,
playing weird games?
Honestly, not. I've never done it.
I'm a firm believer in you play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So
that's a good thing. People call it karma. People call it many words in different languages and in different religions. I think you reap what you sow, and sometimes it takes you a long time to reap what you've sown, but in the end you'll reap it. And honestly, and you're a firm believer, and we share the same values. That we shouldn't like the competition and try to cut corners and have shortcuts. But unfortunately, that's not applicable to everyone around us. And we've witnessed, I don't know how many rumors I've been involved in.
Yeah.
And sometimes it feds me up. I just want to act on them because it's really.
There's always rumors going around you. Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
It's kind of fun.
It's fun up to a certain point. After that, it becomes like annoying.
Yeah, it's fun for me. Yeah.
Because if you really just focus on the other one, on what the other person is doing, constantly checking on their LinkedIn, No, don't you have a wife to care to, or
Listen, you don't want to go there. You don't want to go there. It might only be a crush or something like that.
how?
It's kind of weird when the same people keep checking your link.
I don't know. I've sold the
often
company.
enough that it shows up in weekly reports.
How funny does it have
It
to
is
be
what it
when
is.
people copy your motto? Like
Now that's a nice one too.
when they say you are trying to sell their company to them, and I don't know, we've been owned by a Brazilian company, we've been owned by an Argentinian company.
We
I don't
were
know.
bought by an Argentinian company too. Yeah.
It's quite like super funny, and
In the end, you guys have to know that we do have investor lined up from the UAE. For any further questions, you can email them to Fábio.
or you can rumor them around and
Pretty much.
play another novel. No, it's kind of going back to the subject. I think it's really important what you do and the example that you give. For me, it's really important for us to portray well. And portray well is to actually excel ourselves, not only in the way we operate as a company, but also as how we operate as individuals. That's why when I speak with you, when we prepare people to go to the conferences, how they behave, how they look, what do they say, and the questions they are confronted with, and how they react to it. It's really important because it's a sum of many
Factors.
Yeah.
Well, you when you pick and choose who to go to a conference, you have to keep in mind all the strong points and weak points of the person. Okay? On the strong points, you don't really need to do much.
No.
But
that
you have to advise them and prepare them for what they are going to find.
yeah, especially because many people use that tactics of divide and conquer.
Oh yeah, divide and conquer is a must.
You've also experienced that
Yeah, of course.
live and in person, but yeah, it is what it is. Unfortunately, it's very difficult for you to do when you try to have your moral compass and try to do something well, and you have to compete with people that don't share the same moral compass. It's kind of an unfair game.
Listen,
honest,
you have your own path, and you must walk that path.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pick up your bag and keep on walking.
that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I get annoyed sometimes.
We have an excellent
Wanna punch
expression
your
in
face.
Portuguese regarding that I shall say now, and it won't be censored because our viewers are mostly English speakers, international and mostly English speakers. So I shall say this in Portuguese, cagando e andando. Which means doesn't matter, go on.
Yeah. Kind of I don't know if the English has that the trailer goes on and the dogs could bark.
No, the caravan
Passes by, the dogs
passes,
bark.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Dogs bark and the caravan go by, something like that. Yeah.
Was there a moment for you that you felt that your values were challenged?
Of course, daily.
Any specific you
Daily.
remember?
There are so many that, to be honest, it's kind of hard to pinpoint one. Because you made a very open question.
I could pinpoint a few. You were saying?
I was saying that today we are having a lot of noise around, so
It's funny, it's part of it, Whenever you do something, there's always noise.
it's fun.
Either professional noise or just people listening.
There's always noise around. Do you think entrepreneurs often underestimate how much belief is needed to really build a company and taking it to the next level?
I think real ones do. I think real ones don't underestimate. I think like people that want to be entrepreneurs and really don't know how much of a struggle it is, they really do underestimate. Because a real entrepreneur is like someone that is capable of taking things to the next level and to endure and to resist and to go and to continue and to have everything against them, and they keep on going. And someone who underestimates that or think that, you know, it's very common. You know, most people are friends when they think about, oh, you own a company or you're a vice president of sales of a company. They think you're a millionaire and that you come to the company, you collect your bag of money and you go home like...
That would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be wonderful. But it's not that. And it's something that you really need to take on, and you have to... And sometimes you have to smile when you wanna
I smile.
scream. You have to behave when you wanna punch people in the face, and you have to control many emotions, and you have to control many things. So yeah, I think really real entrepreneurs don't underestimate, but the others do, because you know real entrepreneurs know what it takes, how difficult it is, and they keep on going.
And how long the road is, eh?
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly it. And you know, some people just, and I'm going to open up a company because I think it's easy, because I've seen this guy open up a company, but they only see a verge of the iceberg. They don't see the full iceberg.
Yeah, they only see the tip. Funnily enough, often then 70% of the iceberg is underwater.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You know,
Yeah.
and you don't have an idea of how much work, effort, and many things are connected to it, and how much one has to endure, and to work, and to be able to to motivate people when you don't have motivation, or to be calm when you just want to punch people in the face. And when people are being nasty to you, and you want to be a diplomat and behave and have a proper behavior and don't snap at them. And it's many things put together.
Yeah. Snapping is something that will always happen.
It's wonderful when it happens.
Yeah, it's kind of...
You know that snapping turtle that exists in Florida?
Yeah, they really snap you.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to be, sometimes you have to snap for things to move forward. And it's the difficult thing about having a moral compass and owning a company. I think that's one of the most difficult things, is for you to balance when to fight, how to fight, when
you
to
must
fight.
you must pick your fights. Yeah.
But it's very difficult for you to pick them all properly and to handle them all properly. But as an entrepreneur, you have to, and as a VP of sales, you have to get more things correct than the ones you fail. But understand that you'll fail.
Do you accept failure, your own failures?
I do. Yeah.
It's complicated, isn't it?
No, I don't think so. After a certain point, and after so many years of trying, when you launch yourself in a company and you don't have anyone ruling for you, and you just go things, you see failure as a different thing.
Yeah.
To me, failure, it's not the same thing. When I used to play football professionally, when I failed, I felt like really bad.
I remember.
Yeah, I felt really bad. I missed a penalty, or I got a red card for doing some stupid stuff. I would really feel it, and that you see as a failure. But as you grow and as you mature, you start to understand that failure is just completely normal. And
you have to fail a lot until you win.
Yeah, and sometimes, as I've told you this many times, some quotes we're gonna get them, some quotes our competition is gonna get them, but you have to understand that in the other companies there are also families that need to be fed, and we can't handle and chew all the business, and neither we want to do that, because we wouldn't be able to sustain all the business that
of course
might possible to be done.
Of course not. I never aimed to. I probably could find a way to bury everyone, but that's not really the point.
With a shovel, or
first with a shovel to the head, and then, if I have the shovel in hand.
That today completes our first cancelable moment of the day.
No, this is not a cancelable.
That's a funny one.
Come on, it's just a bit of fun. Was there any moment in Invictus history, in your history? Well, you and Invictus are almost one and the same.
Pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same. Was there any time any particular time where you felt your values were challenged?
Many times. I wouldn't say often weekly, but during many times, many times. When you're the face of a company and you have to like represent the values, and you have my values are very transparent. I know exactly what I want and how I want it, and exactly how I want to portray myself. And when you do that, you become like the black sheep of the rest of the sheep, because you are very different. If everyone competes with you in unloyal ways, and then you come and you don't diss anyone, and you go and compete loyal, and you don't steal business, and you don't talk bad about your competitors, but you're the only one doing it, then it's difficult, because you feel like, okay, I'm going this way, but I'm not being treated with the same respect as I'm treating others. So then you get challenged in your ideas, your perspective. And it's very difficult sometimes for you, you just want to, do things you shouldn't. You just want to.
Yeah, it seems easier to do things you shouldn't.
Because it actually is. It actually is. We live in a world that is it's easier for you to build a house without a license than actually build one with a license.
Yeah, you don't have to take the license. It's easier. Yeah.
You put on a wall and you build it, and it's closed. No one can get in. And you can pretty much do it. And if you want to get a license, then it's very difficult. And they ask you a series of papers and documents, and you have to provide them everything. You have a license for this, for that, for that, for that. And I think we live in a world that really favors cutting corners. And if you don't cut corners, then it's very difficult.
Things will take time, and they will be difficult.
Yeah.
But in the end, you need a license.
Yeah. But
if you want to be more than a broker, you'll need a license.
I don't want to answer that, because then I will be forced to talk about that.
Okay. No, I know a bit about the legislation, and I know a bit about the standards some organizations require from you to be a part of them. And I believe a license is...
it's a very minimum.
It's the bare minimum, isn't it?
It is, but some people don't have it and still portray and sell the services online. And you get to compete with it.
But those are moving companies, those are brokers. That's why
I wouldn't even call them brokers. I would call them consultants or whatever.
Consultants, brokers, whatever. Yeah. But a broker is a consultant in the end.
Yeah. So yeah, I've had my moral compass challenged quite a few times, but I think I've done a good job.
Did you compromise?
No, I've not. And I wish I could share some of the stories that some of the offers I've received. And
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, but if I could, I would. Yeah, I've been offered quite a few things. I've always rejected them, and because I'd rather sleep at night and money isn't everything. So you just want to keep on doing the things that you think you should. And, yeah.
Very well. Very, very positive answer, I must say. It looked way better than mine. Sounded way better than mine.
Let me return the question. Have you ever felt a discrepancy between closing a deal? Imagine you have a big deal to close, but to close it, that you will have to be dealing with a horrible customer or a horrible agent, or you have to compromise your values. Would you do it?
I did it once. It was a private move. I shan't be saying names, but the client was horrible with everyone that dealt with the client except myself. So as I've never seen it for myself, I thought, okay, you're just managing the communication wrong or something like that. No, in the end, the client was really terrible, but somehow when dealing with me, was always very polite, very, very cautious, never had a problem at all. But yeah, that was one point. I have to apologize to the colleagues that had to deal with them and with the agent that had to deal with them, but I've never seen that for myself.
I've been on the two sides of the coin. I've seen many things, directly and indirectly. But yeah, sometimes you cannot control. And some people, some customers itself, not even customers. We are all like businessmen, but also we are also customers, and
Of course.
we've always like tried to treat people with respect. Some people don't think that, they will be nice to me because I'm the CEO, or they will be nice to you because you're the VP of sales.
But back then I wasn't. I was just a regular sales
They
guy.
had some sort of respect for you, but they will not be so respectful, perhaps with the personal assistants or with the receptionist.
Yeah.
And it's part of the mentality, when you have the wrong mentality and you value things that you shouldn't. Then, but I think we are on a good track that we try to avoid those types of companies. And those
Yeah, we
types of
do.
customers.
As I said, often I have to say, it's not worth the money.
That's good. That's good because in the end, I think it really protects our standards, and I think that's really it. Some things are really not worth it, and many things are not worth it.
Oh, definitely. Especially when clients ask you to do shoddy work on. And you said, maybe you don't need to use the pack so much. I can do something for myself, and then, well, you know how it ends, don't you?
That's really funny because before coming down to record the podcast, I got a call from a Belgium company. We are working on a quote together, and I hope she sees the podcast, because she will find this moment funny. We've been talking on and off about a specific customer, and the demands have been increasing. From email to email. The customer sends more demands to her, and she passes on to me. And I'm always very honest, because I want to do that. I don't want to. My purpose is not to sell the service at any cost. I want to sell it, but I want to be able to make a good job. And she called me like half an hour ago, just before I came down to record the podcast, and she was asking, Fábio, could you do this and deliver on this date? And I said, listen.
While doing an handstand.
And I said, listen. Can I be completely honest with you? And she said, no, you can, please be. And, I'm always very polite, and I say things, in a very polite way. And I said, listen, your customer is trying to drive a Ferrari, but wanting to pay for a Fiat, and we cannot have both. If you want to drive the Ferrari, you need to be able to pay for the Ferrari. But if you want to pay it's two different things. They come from the same brand, but it's two different things. So it was funny because she started laughing, obviously, and she said I was right. But it's really it, Sometimes you have to choose how you wish to proceed and how you wish to be seen and do, and how much does it take for you to sell a service. And yeah.
Very well. And have you ever walked away from money?
Many times.
It's the first one that's more complicated. After the first one, it's just
no. I've walked many times. Firstly because money is not that thing to me. People talk about money. It's like first they have water, then they have money.
Or first they have money, and then they want water.
Yeah, for them money is everything. For them to buy this and that. My values are not in that. I think the more you chase money, the more you chase money away. I think. Mm-hmm. And the more you work, like professionally, in whatever area of business you work in, if you work correctly with heart and with if you do things professionally, it doesn't matter if you cook or clean or whatever you do. If you do things properly, then you start tracking what is first business, and then that business generates turnover.
Turnover, yeah.
Yeah, but you have to walk away from money sometimes. Yeah, you have to. I had an offer to buy Invictus, and I rejected it. It wasn't a big amount of deal that I was offered. And why did I reject? Because money isn't everything to me, and because I was worried with what would happen to the company and to the people that work here. So yeah, and you're a witness of it. You saw it.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. Do you miss working with private clients, or?
It depends. It's private clients are always a challenge. Yeah, and it's a funny thing is that the least budget they have, the more demanding they are. And it's the exact opposite. The bigger the budget, the less demanding. So Yeah, it's you know, it's a learning curve when you have difficult private customers or private agents, or you know, it's a learning curve. You learn from the mistakes you make. You know, one of the reasons that now we don't accept all sorts of customers and all sorts of businesses because the bad experiences that we had with certain customers, and for trying to close deals and you know, almost at any cost, and that doesn't really pay off. You know, it doesn't generate any.
It's not worth the money.
It's exactly it. But you only learn that through making mistakes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't miss, but I don't regret it.
I understand. Business is business. Do you agree, or?
I do. Business is business, and nowadays is becoming more and more private. You know, people think everything personally. Even in the communications, even this morning, I sent you the message.
Oh, you did.
I was reading the emails, and I was like, what? And I was really surprised with the type of communication and the type of communication people have between each other. I was like, there's something seriously wrong with someone if that's the way you write.
Yeah.
And
either you're not understanding it enough to put it in writing, or
like you're really not really understanding that this job is about people, and people will make mistakes.
oh, of course.
And you have to focus on the resolution much rather than focusing on the mistakes. And if you just focus on the mistakes and you're to blame, this one to blame, then you're really like...
You only have to find who's at fault. I won't say blame, because blame is a strong word. Is a strong word. I'd rather look for who's at fault and try to understand why the fault happened, and find a way for the fault to never happen again.
Yeah, and
it's more important than I'm blaming you for this, you bastard.
I hate that. You know, I hate that kind of conversation. Whenever someone and sometimes they portray the voices. Oh my God, it's so obnoxious. I hate it. You know, it's like, to me, it's exhausting. I hate that.
Oh my God, they killed Kenny. You bastards.
Yeah, something like that.
So you were talking about fate at the beginning. We were talking about it in. You think entrepreneurship itself is an act of faith?
It is. It is indeed. You know, I'm a man of faith. I've had my struggles with God. You know, I've had my fights. But you've seen the priest. He came last week to bless the company.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he did. From time to time, he comes and he blesses me, blesses the company. Kind of things that Rocky used to do in the Rocky Balboa movies. And you know, I have a big connection with that. And I think faith is really, really super connected. You know, it to me has been really helpful in my darkest moments. And you know what happened last year, and it was perhaps one of the darkest moments of my life. You know, and I made the pilgrim walk to Fatima.
You did.
And it was like a really transforming walk.
Experience.
I was so angry when I went to walk, and I was really quiet when I came back from the walk.
Probably.
And that's really difficult to explain.
Probably because you're completely knackered.
No, I was not.
I know you were.
It was like, it's really transforming. I don't know if you ever get the chance to do it, you should. Even for the right reasons or for the wrong reason, if you don't believe, you know.
When you commit yourself to one of those kind of actions, it's never.
It's really
right or wrong.
To me. It was really transforming, because I was like, it was a group of 60 people. Everyone was there for different reasons, and every night someone was invited to share the story. And you had their really sad stories, other really nice stories, and to me, like, it helped me put everything to perspective, you know. And sometimes you really need to hold on to faith, because sometimes that's the only thing you have. And in many occasions, that's been the only thing I had. So yeah, one of the reasons that Invictus is here and standing and booming and blessing, and it's really that, you know.
Yeah, you're a man of faith. Yeah, indeed, you are. Indeed, you are a sort of religious guy, new age religious guy. No, not new age, not really new age, but do you often find that your convictions influence the decisions you take daily? Your faith, your moral compass,
That's difficult.
and how you lead the team.
It's always influenced by the values you think you should have. Sometimes you make mistakes, but I've told you this many times. So all the mistakes I've made, and I've made many, at least in spite of feeling that I might have made a mistake, I have a clear conscience, and that's the best thing you can have. That you can go to sleep at night and you sleep well because you know that you did the best thing you could with that specific situation, because you didn't try to undermine people or to hurt them in any way, shape, or form, even if that was done to you. And I think that's a good thing, and that's what really helps you. If you have the moral values, you understand that the justice is not to you, justice is to whatever you believe as a religion. And religions has many faces and many forms, but I think it's if you look at it in a general way, it's many names for the same thing. So yeah, all my decisions have always been influenced by a moral compass, by faith and religion. So, yeah. Like I said, in my darkest moments, I've been, when I've been very angry, very aggravated with life, and I found myself very empty and alone, and not really having anyone to talk to. And going to church really helped me. And I would went there and just sit down. I would choose empty moments when it's empty, and you go there, so you feel like really super quiet. And I would go there and just sit down and talk to myself for a while. Maybe people mistake me for a crazy bum. I don't know.
Possibly, yeah.
Or a drug.
Even though you don't look much like a bum, but yeah.
But yeah.
Just a nutcase, probably.
Yeah, and that's really helped me. And yeah, I think we see this every day. Even this morning I had the conversation with the person, and I feel like some people are just lost. They have all the things that they need to thrive, but they are lost. They are lost because they don't have a guiding light, or because they are unable to see the way in front of them. And it's really sad.
Sometimes, well, it depends on in the place you are at the moment within yourself. Sometimes the solution is just in front of you, and you.
Yeah, it's how connected
you cannot see it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I've been in that position. Like, what do I do now? Man, it's always in front of you. You just have to take a step back or wait.
Yeah, I think you need to navigate the wave. I think sometimes you're just so busy trying to swim out of the wave, and you don't have the power to swim out of it, that you don't even see where the wave is taking you. Sometimes you just need, the best thing is just not to do anything.
Yeah,
just be
wait.
quiet. Yeah, just wait it out.
You've been leading this team for lots of years. Now, do you find that consistency is the key to a good leadership, or?
I think so. Consistency and adaptation. Because if you ask me today, and if you ask Fábio 12 years ago, if my way of leading was the same, it was not. My behavior was not the same, and my leadership way was not the same. As you mature and as you develop as a businessman, you start to see some things work and sometimes they don't work. What you need to evaluate and understand is that you're going to make mistakes, and you have to understand where you failed and not to repeat those mistakes again. But consistency is very important. But more important than consistency is to innovate. To try and innovate in behaviors, innovate in the way you operate, innovate in how you treat others, and innovate in not repeating the same mistakes you've done. That's called innovation, not only like in technology.
Make new mistakes, man. It's better to make new mistakes
That's exactly it.
than keep insisting on the same old.
That's exactly it. Trying to do the same things and expecting different results, it doesn't work.
So you have any advice you want to give to the entrepreneurs that will definitely be watching this video?
I think the best advice you can get, or the best advice I would personally give, is for people to be brave and believe in themselves and try to do things for the right reasons. Because if you are brave and you do things for the right reasons, you're half of the way on the right direction.
Yeah.
The rest is
To stay grounded under pressure and.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Don't cut corners. Don't accept shortcuts, and don't sell yourselves to get somewhere faster. Because if something is built fast, it's gonna fall down fast.
Yeah, you don't start a house by the roof, do you?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So, this has been a nice conversation, but I'm honestly fed up with looking at you today. So,
And you have the sunset to go.
yeah, I have to go and enjoy a nice sunset with a cold beer in my hand. It is Portugal, and the weather is always great, as you probably know, except when we have storms and floods.
Yeah, we only had like 42 days counting raining.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was living in Portugal or in Greenland, but yeah,
In Greenland, it would probably snow. Yeah.
it depends.
It depends, yeah.
But I think we can wrap up the episode. I think it was quite an interesting conversation.
I would ask you to summarize
You want me to summarize?
the role of faith and core values in building a serious business. What do you think? It's really squeezing everything we talked about during these 40 minutes. I believe it's 40 minutes, something like that.
42.
42
To be
minutes.
more precise.
If you squeeze everything, what's the juice that you'll take out of this conversation
I think
for our less able-minded viewers?
I think for our viewers, I think what you'll see, and it's not applicable only to us. There are many podcasts that talk about
Of course.
business, and many people that have success, and success is only a tip of what you see. And I think if you have the right moral values, like ethics, respect, and if you work out and you work hard, and those are the basics of the basics.
And fail as much as you can. Yeah.
Yep.
Fail as much as you can, because it will make you learn.
But I think
Don't
Going
be afraid
back-
of failure. Yeah?
But going back to the initial topic of the podcast, I think faith is the most important one. Because if you have faith, then you have everything else. And if you don't have faith, and faith is not necessarily in religion, faith in yourself, faith in what you're doing, and believing when no one is believing, I think that's the most
A
important.
full step ahead.
Because otherwise, there are going to be days, going to be dark days, there are going to be days you're going to fail, and everything is going to go against you, and you have to, what holds you then? It's not business because you don't have it. It's not customers because they are not doing anything with you. It's faith. It's faith what keeps you going. So, yeah, have faith.
Have faith.
Have faith, guys,
And don't be afraid to fail.
and don't be afraid to fail.
Very well. It was nice. It was a nice episode. I must say, we probably weren't cancelled, not even once.
No, I'm really proud.
I'm really proud of myself for not.
Me too.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was different. So, see you next time for episode 4 of the Odyssey. Try not to die until then. And be sure to click and subscribe and
Share and
share.
and send it to your LinkedIn friends.
Yeah.
And stop looking at my LinkedIn.
Have a great day, everyone. Cheers. Bye bye.
And thanks to João for producing today. It's a wonderful
Over
setup.
there.
Thank you.